Morning, Chippy. Okay, everybody ready? Hang on. No, that's just for, we'll refer to it at a later point. Okay, rolling. I'd like to call to order this regular board meeting of the Guam Educational Telecommunications Corporation. Today is November 23, 2021. Time is 12:07 p.m. Please state your name as we go around the table. Donovan Brooks, Chair.
Jody Francis, member.
Lorraine Hernandez, Administrative Officer.
Angela Guerrero, member.
Rosemary Clement, member.
Judy Flores, member.
Thank you. And because of the, the newness of this being able to, because we are being broadcast, it's critical that your what you have to say is heard clearly. So I would ask that you remove your mask, just as you speak, and then put it back on. First order of business is the review and approval of the minutes dated October 21, the last board meeting. Those you will find in front of you.
I think we've all had time to review it, so I'd like to move for approval.
A second.
So noted. Any comments or questions? Is that fine with everyone?
I didn't have a chance to.
Okay, would you like a minute? Sure.
A minute.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the minutes of October 21, 2021. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. GM's report to the board. Mrs. Carrillo.
So if you could refer to the requisition that was just passed out, requisition number FY 2022 RQ8. It's for a frame synchronizer, which is a piece of equipment that converts mismatched signals, types, and establishes a consistent format for post-production, and that is to be used in the master control office. They need to replace this piece of equipment, and so we've
Ina, can you speak a little louder?
Okay. They need to replace this equipment, and we've gotten a free quote. So if you refer to the RFQ number 8, the lowest bid was B&H, which is $57.06. It's about $1,500 difference from the second quote and another $3,000 from the third quote. So if I could get a motion,
May I ask-
seeking board approval.
May I ask you, BHI is an online company?
All three of these are online.
I see.
This is broadcast equipment. It's not available here on Guam.
And the three of them provide the same thing? They coordinate on exactly the same thing?
Yes. I have the quotes here if you'd like to review.
No, it's okay, I can see it. So, if that is the case, I move that we approve this requisition to go to B&H, because the price is considerable difference for the same thing.
I second.
Ina, is that what you're looking for here? Immediate approval?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so we have everyone, just to be clear, we're looking at the fiscal year 2022 requisition 8 for the frame synchronizer at $5,905.61. Lowest bid out of 3. Additional mission critical broadcast equipment.
I want to just make a point of correction, Mr. Chairman, it's 5,705.
705, I'm sorry. Stand corrected. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the purchase as requested, and we have a second.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Okay, so the Department of Interior TAP grant procurement is still underway. Originally, we had thought that we would have all the quotes and ready to go so that we could have the board approve the procurement. That's for a $500,000 grant that we received in 2019. So the grant is expiring in December, next month, at the end of the month. So we weren't able to get the 3, we had to actually go to bid. So we published a newspaper ad for 3 days requesting for our request for bid, right? And so that whole process is taking a little bit longer. We haven't gotten the 3 quotes yet, or 3 bids. So I have requested with the chairman that we continue this meeting table the meeting for about 10 days and then vote during that meeting continuation once we are finished with the procurement, so that we can get it approved in time before the expiration of the grant. So that's kind of a pressing issue. We're trying our best to get the quotes or the bids in, and as soon as we do, we can reconvene for the vote.
so just to clarify, and we did speak about this earlier, what's going to happen at the end of this meeting, and because it's going to be a brief meeting, we're not going to adjourn. We will just,
Pause.
Table
well,
to
no, it's not table, it's pause, it's,
reconvene.
because we're going to,
Pause the meeting, but
I guess it's pause the meeting, and then we're coming back to the same meeting at a later date. That way we do not run against the public notice.
can we do that? Can we pause the meeting?
But we have to have another meeting in
Another
person?
And then adjourn that day.
What we'll do is we will Zoom that portion of the meeting. So we won't have to come back here, and we're just Zooming to address this one issue.
So once we have the leads, you will let us know, and via Zoom,
Right.
we just
Can
approve.
yes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay. So in administration, we have our Thanksgiving potluck tomorrow during lunch at noon. The board is also invited to come for our potluck, and please feel free to bring a dish if you'd like to come.
Where is that going to be at?
Right here, they'll be here at PBS at 12 o'clock. CSG and the contract employee open enrollment for health insurance will be held on the 30th of this month with Statewell. And then also we are still trying to schedule the all-state presentation for additional life insurance, insurance coverage for the Guam employees. For development, the virtual run, we had hoped to do the virtual run in December, but right now, we only had one development associate at the time, and She had to be out for a couple weeks straight. It was a COVID close contact, so we need to push the run to January. Anyway, it's just very hectic right now with production and everything going on in the station. So that was the update. All of the virtual run promo items that we had approved, the board had approved maybe 2 months ago, they are already coming in through DHL. 5 of 8 boxes are received, and there are 3 more pending with DHL. 2 development associate positions have been filled this week, so our development department will be completely filled starting Monday when they start. One has already started, we have another one starting Monday. Under production, all PBS assets are getting retagged into inventory. A couple months ago, we had requested the board approve these special destructive metal tags. I don't know.
Destructible or undestructible?
Destructible, like if you try to pull it off, it breaks. And so you won't be able to pull it off in one piece. So if you remember in our last audit, we were cited for not having the proper inventory asset tags. So we've ordered the correct asset tags as per our auditor, and so now we're just going, Alan is going through all the inventory and retagging everything, so as we get audited this year, it shouldn't be an issue with
I have a
auditors.
question. So what is the reason why destructible asset tags? I mean, if you pull the tag, it will destruct.
So if you
what
could,
does that mean?
if you could see on the camera, there's that, it's right there too, the metal, all the equipment, they have these little metal tags here. It'll say PBS Guam asset number, and then there's also a specific tag for federally funded equipment that's purchased through grants. It just says federally funded on the bottom of the ticket. So the reason for it to be destructible is if someone steals, say, the camera and they try to scrape off the tag, it'll destruct it. You wouldn't be able to remove the tag in one piece.
The other one can't.
The other one you can just take the
it
sticker
off,
off.
so
Yeah.
you know it's stolen.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
All right.
yes.
That's the
So
whole
the
point.
other one was metal, but we could remove it. So the problem was when we ordered that, the auditor didn't say it had to be destructible. So when they saw it, they said, "Oh, that's not the one." So we had to order another one. They're pretty pricey. When we asked the board to procure, it was like $4,000 for the 3,000, 4,000 tags. So anyway, we have received them, and now we are tagging everything so that we are in compliance, and hopefully this year we have no audit findings. So that was, asset tags and production. Okay. Also, production staff, they're quite busy today. I just wanted to give you kind of a snapshot of what their day looks like today. So just today, we're working on, at 9 o'clock, production guys were in a Christmas shoot with Cowboys Insurance at 9 a.m. The other half of production was at the Guam Preservation Trust Ancient Chamorro Remains ceremony, and so we've documented that. And it's pretty historical because this is the first time that ancient remains will be documented on film.
Yeah, that's great.
Ever, right? So, and PBS is the exclusive media partner with Guam Preservation Trust. So right now, production guys are going to create a news package to send to the Preservation Trust, which would then be transmitted to all the media outlets for them to use in the news tonight. At 12 o'clock, we have, that's our board meeting. 3 o'clock, we have Investment Patahamsa, which is the governor's American Rescue Plan rollout that we've been working on all month. So finally, we're going to broadcast the video. If you guys have time to watch it at 3 o'clock, it's such a well done piece.
Good.
And then at 3:30, there's a live press conference, and then we're supposed to do ACB today at 4. So that's just kind of a snack.
At 3 o'clock is live.
Yes.
Oh, so you can't see it later.
3:30. We'll rebroadcast at 6.
You
Oh,
mean in Channel 12?
Yes. And then also on our YouTube channel. But I mean, just so that you guys can understand how busy production is, I just wanted to let you know, like, just a snapshot of one of our days. So we're working on, like, all of this just today, and that's just in production. So they guys are really doing such a great job.
What is this American Rescue Plan?
It is the second round of funding from the president. So the first round was the CARES Act, and now it's the American Rescue Plan. And then the third round of funding is the transportation, the Build Back Better. Okay, so that's what's happening now. Engineering. John Munya is in the process of procuring the emergency alert system. He hasn't been able to get the third quote. I have 2 quotes here. He's working on another one, and so as soon as I get the 3 quotes, we'll be able to procure. And I keep putting it on my report because we're hoping to get the 3 quotes, but we're having a hard time. There's only specific companies that produce this emergency alert system for all the and we just can't get the third quote. So I have 2, we're waiting on 1 more. As soon as we get the third quote, it'll be I don't know if it's gonna be a new business or old business.
Actually, you can bring up with us if you get the quote by the
Hopefully
next.
by the next meeting, we can vote on it.
Yeah.
We need, by FCC mandates that we have the emergency alert system, right? In case there's an emergency, it's that really high-pitched beeping sound. Yeah, ours is broken, so we really need to fix it.
I have a question.
Replace it.
Is in the interim of that being stated here that it's been down for the last 5 years, has there been any penalties that have been?
They haven't penalized us, but we have to report it to them, and they express to us that we need to do it, get it replaced. But before, we just haven't been able to afford it. Now we can afford it, we just can't get people to sell it to us. So we're
And we're
kind of
just
in
waiting on
a
this one quote to make that.
One more quote, yeah. So once I get 1 more quote, these quotes will be null and void. I need them to update these quotes so that within the 30-day quote. And then we can go.
I would say that if you can't find the third quote, if there's a problem with that, maybe just come back to the board. Can we move forward if we just have 2?
We can?
Yeah, if he doesn't get another
I
quote.
mean, we have emails to companies and we can consider that a no quote.
Yeah.
So if by the next time we convene, we don't have a quote, I'll get these updated and we'll
Okay.
have 2 quotes and a no quote, and that will
Sounds
be
good.
great. Okay, we can do that. That's better. Okay, the ceiling repair and water blasting. It is complete, but the elastomeric coating, because of the weather, they're trying to aim for this Sunday to do that. And then once that's done, then we're complete. It's been, every time we're gonna do it, it rains or something, so it's almost done, but it's just the coating now that needs to be replaced. The bathroom door was broken. This bathroom door, we had to have it repaired this week. And then we also are in search of a new lawn service care provider. The person that was doing our lawn service, he no longer can do it, so we have a bid out for lawn service, lawn care for PBS here and Arizona.
Where can people find that?
The bid, Bert sent a request for bid
What?
to some companies.
She emailed some
I
companies
don't know, for quotes, people would think it's our quote.
So if you want, you can give me some names.
And we can
We
ask.
send them an email.
Excuse me,
So-
what is Barrigada? Is there another?
We have that's where our transmitter site is. So if you go to Vergara Heights on the top of the hill, you'll notice that all the media outlets, all the KYM and the radio stations, they all have their giant towers, kind of like the tower outside. So we all have space up there, and that's where we transmit our signal.
Broadcast signal.
And you need to have that lock.
We just do it because otherwise the lawn will get overrun and it'll be hard to get into, and we just make sure that it's all
Okay.
cut. And yeah, it's all fenced off there, but yeah, we need to just make sure it's maintained. Right now, we are still working with DPW for the building renovations. What we've done already is we've done the walkthrough with DPW and with GW. They've already made the first initial CAD drawings of the whole entire space, and they're in the process of doing the ad for quotes. So once that happens and they receive quotes, and they're going to do all the procurement. So once they decide on architect and contractor, we will meet again and then talk about specifics on what needs to be done. But
Excuse me, Ina, is this concerning this
gate to GW?
Yes, also the gate. That's also part of the
So,
construction.
I
Renovation.
just found out my granddaughter's one of the people that goes through there. So if you close that off, then how do they get,
We're not gonna
Well,
close
still
it
gonna
off,
be-
we're just gonna we're gonna replace the gate, because it's all rusted anyway. But we're going to create a sidewalk around the grass,
Oh.
grass area, so we're gonna create a sidewalk, and, we're gonna move the dumpster to the other side, closest to the GW fence, and where the dumpster is gonna be a walkway, a door,
oh,
walkway to GCC,
Okay.
so they're not walking through the parking lot. So that also is included in the renovation, as well as the exterior, paint the building and stuff like that. So that's all right now in DPW's hands, and we've expressed to them that we would like it to be done by April, so we're still working with them every week. Roof repair, I talked about that. And, John wanted me to mention that PBS 6 system, we're now in phase E, which is connectivity. So he thinks that there's 1 or 2 more phases and then we'll be totally done and up to national standard as far as our broadcast system. So that's huge for Guam, I think, because we haven't been on any level nationally in a long time. So that's all.
Well, it's great to see the progress. Okay, is that it, Anna?
Yes, that's
Thank you.
No, I have a little question, sorry. When we go to engineering and about the
Mary,
the
Florence,
emergency alert system,
please take your mask
why
off.
does it says
Mary
funding?
Florence said, take your mask off.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Sorry, I'm just busy with this. Yeah, so it says the funding source is private funds.
Yes.
What does it mean?
So we have, PBS is funded through government funds, right? Through TEF, and then also private funds through CPB, and then also we have fundraising efforts, which is a different account also. So we have the 3 different accounts. So what I've been doing with the requisition is just identifying where the funds are coming from. GovCom funds is really reserved for staffing and power, that's all. Everything else, all PBS needs, or PBS staffing, and some of the PBS operation costs are funded through CPB grant. Everything else, we gotta raise funds to cover. So that's our private funds, yes.
Private funds meaning?
It's not government funded,
Okay.
just letting you know it's coming from
Fundraising.
our private account.
Private, like
Private.
fundraising.
In-house.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's, I just wanted to verify that. Thank you.
In front of you, you have the financials for not only September, but end of year 2020 through 2021. For a change, as you look over our profit and loss statement, it becomes clear that, you know, the types of money that's running through the station, it becomes clear that as we look at this, you see that the type of money that's running through the station is really unmatched. It's never been like this here at the station, and it's I'm just thrilled to be here to see this. And to see that, you know, I mean, looking forward, what it could possibly mean for the station. But Ina just mentioned the $500,000 Interior Department grant that we almost risked losing because it took so long for GSA, was it, to work on it, and then we finally had to take it back from GSA to do it ourselves, otherwise risk losing $500,000. Was there a way to delay or extend that?
We did extend last year for another 12 months because
So we already had extended it.
we had already extended, and so we have been working with GSA every week for like the last 2 years. So finally, we just are doing it on our own, and I think it's a that'll be an additional $580,000.
Wow, that's wonderful.
This 2-year grant.
Yes, 2 years.
So the profit and loss for 2020 through 2021 says Guam appropriations 491,000. Is that inclusive of the,
No, that's only local.
That's the local funding from the legislature just for staffing and power.
Yeah.
So this funding that we should be getting from ARP will go into private funds.
okay. So, all
It's,
right,
that thing is reimbursement. You know, we bill them and then they pay us.
right. So anyways, you know, I'm not a financial expert, I wish I were, but as you know, even my basic knowledge, you know, I'm looking at all very positive numbers in terms of revenue, in terms of production, money coming in. You know, we all know that we're getting the $500,000 equipment upgrades. We're looking at making a lot of improvements. As I said, the station has never been in a position to make, and it's a great time to be here, in my opinion. Any other questions or comments on finances, Mary Flor, anything?
No, I mean, I actually am very happy. 2,000, almost $203,000 net profit for the month of September. Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a lot of, it really is a lot of hard work.
I wanted to ask a question regarding all of the funding that we've been able to benefit from the ARP and all of the other awards that we received, and the expense that it costs for the station to be able to function, basically, in regards to the personnel costs, services, and all of that. What will happen when we exhaust the funding, and how are we going to be able to maintain that level of service and provide that benefit to the employees should we come to that?
Well, a lot of the funding that we received were for 1 year, 2 year grants, right? And we have been able to hire staff for those specific grants, right? But, you know, I mean, in the back of my mind, I always was trying to be realistic about, I don't want to hire 10 or 15 people and then at the end of the grant, cut them off. So, I mean, there is a plan. What we're doing is I'm trying to make the station sustainable so that after these grant fundings have expired, we're going to still be able to sustain the staff that we've already acquired at the level that they've been acquired. So, what we've done is we're creating programs that let's see how I explain this, that can be sustained, right? Like
Building
year to year.
sustainability.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, we have something in the works that I'm not really at liberty to mention right now since we're live, but that might be something that, you know, PBS can broadcast for the next, you know, 10 or 20 years, something permanent. And then also I really believe that PBS University is going to be, I mean, that is our legacy here on Guam. You know, we are able to provide this really valuable educational programming to the kids, and it's not something that you watch it once and it's done. You know, there's so many, it has such a big reach where, you know, the kids can watch it over and over and over for 5 years or 6 years, you know, or however long the textbooks are. You know, this is just basic life skills that they're learning. You can watch it for the next decade. Teachers can watch it and learn from it and use it for case study. And not only people on Guam, but also in the CNMI and FSM. So I really believe that once we're ready to, we can go out and sell this product, and it's a product that can sustain itself, you know, we can get there. Also with the other programming, and I'm trying to build a local programming slate that will pay for itself. And so that's kind of the plan, and that's kind of my mission, is to get PBS to a point where we're building enough to sustain sustain the CPB employees. So that's kind of, I don't know if it's going to suffice, but that's the plan for now.
I really appreciate that in the vision moving forward and looking at those concepts that will be self-sustaining after all of these funds are exhausted. And I think that because of the fact that you're already considering that now is really giving a lot more sustainability in my mind with regard to the programming that we're offering and the length of that time, and then also extending it outward to the region itself so that they will also benefit. And if they are interested in, like you said, purchasing that particular programming, that we can work in that aspect as well and allow that to take place. But I'm really grateful that you have that foresight and that vision in order to sustain the station after the exhausting of the grant. So thank you, I appreciate that very much.
I've also been, sorry.
No, just saying also, an awful lot of that money that we've received was for the building and for equipment.
Yeah.
So that needed to be done. So, I mean, hopefully that equipment's gonna last a few years so we don't have those huge expenses of all these many things that have been purchased.
We're doing, I mean, I'm really being very conservative in my spending approach to all of the funding, right? I'm taking a look at how long these assets will last and when we're going to need to make another like big expenditure, right? So what, you know, and then that's why we went to GW to seek out the additional space, because we really need to, with the funding that we have, we really need to create a space here that not only is conducive to making the most creative pieces and you know, broadcasts, right? But also something that is modern, because broadcast isn't about TV and I mean, not only about TV now. You know, it's about sharing your content over multiple platforms, whether it's social. I mean, it's mobile on your cell phone, mobile on an iPad, on your computer. You can watch it on YouTube, watch it on your, you know, like. So I want to create a space that not only is a modern TV station, but will take us into the future. And also, we're building a state-of-the-art studio and expanding it this way, right? We're expanding it. But we're building a state-of-the-art studio that will also be revenue generating, you know, in addition to our broadcast and our creative products, right? We want a space that can generate revenue. And so, you know, we're trying to make our services multifaceted. Not only is it just broadcast or I'm going to sell production, but I have this production space that we'll be able to rent out. And then we're also doing other creative services with agencies. So we're just trying to do our best and to figure out a new business, or to revise the business model of PBS and bring it into the future. That's kind of our plan right now.
Excellent.
I would just like to say that everything Joy said, I fully agree. I know your planning and foresight is much appreciated and long needed by the station. Okay. We have anything on our old business to look at? No, right? Okay, we have the election of officers as we tried to do last month, but couldn't because we had not put it on the agenda beforehand. So
I would like to nominate Judy Flores to be the secretary of PBS board and Mary Flor Leon Guerrero to be the treasurer of PBS board.
pretty straightforward.
Are there any other nominations?
So if none, I would ask for a motion to close the nominations.
I'm sorry, Rosemary, what was the name of the second individual?
Mary Flor Leon Guerrero for treasurer? I know her. Okay. Mary Flor, do we have that there?
So we have two names on the floor for the position of secretary and treasurer of the board.
I know Spanish.
Um, Because there are no other nominations, I would just ask for a motion to accept the offer of Judy and Mary Floor to volunteer for the positions of secretary and treasurer respectively. So you can just say so moved.
So moved. I move to approve Judy Flores as secretary and Mariflor Herrera Leon Guerrero as treasurer to be added into the board of trustees.
So, can I just clarify, just for, because the bank, we need to get the documentation to the bank that Judith
Yeah, it's Judith, what, her real name is Judith?
will be on the bank statement.
Okay. I am correcting the name Judith Flores for secretary.
And Marie Flor Herrero Leon Guerrero as treasurer. Second?
Second.
Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. So at some point in the immediate future, Mary Flor will come to you with a signature card. And, is Judy also going to be added to the signature, or is it just Mary Flor?
Treasurer and chairman?
Treasurer, chairman? Okay, fine.
Just let me know.
Okay, they will let you know. Okay, thank you very much. Moving forward. Just as background, Judy, the board in the past decided that we wanted to find a way to take use of the 15-minute, 30-minute segments between programming on our station, and instead of just having, some generic, thank you very much, we wanted to use that time to deliver a message. And one of the first messages we decided we wanted to work on was distracted driving, hands-free driving. I've already talked to Paul Calvo at Farmers Insurance, and he indicated that he would be interested in signing on as a sponsor of that type of a product. So what this number 2 item on new business is asking for is just for the station to come up with a pilot that we can go to Paul with and say, this is what we want to do. This is how we're going to start to address what we've talked about. Distracted driving program, anti-distracted driving program that will air between programming, and that will be underwritten by Calvo's, perhaps in conjunction with a car sales company or something of that nature. So I don't expect that you guys have anything for us today, but I would like to ask that within the next 90 days, certainly, that we can see something.
Okay, we have, so I have assigned Jonah to work on the project.
Okay?
So he did do the teaser ad that I presented in the last meeting. He's going to come up with another two more spots to complete the series. And so I know production is really busy right now and in December, so I think by the end of January that 90-day time frame will be perfect, and we should be able to have a series for you.
Great.
I just want to comment, Mr. Chairman, that that's a great idea, because yesterday I was in Marine Drive, this place where there is the marine. Anyway, there was an accident, right? And all of a sudden, 3 cars just hit when everybody was the 3rd car. And it was not a lot of traffic. It was just, it was obvious that the driver of that car was distracted. I don't know whether it was talking or it was on the phone or was texting or something, but there's 3 accidents. Lucky nobody was injured, but 3 cars that were really messed up. And in a place that there is no reason why there should be an accident, unless because they were not paying attention. So I think that this is a really very good idea.
Thank you. And I think we're in perfect position because we really have to address it at the lower level of ages, right? Because we're not necessarily going to affect change of people who are 25 or 30. Maybe we can, but we can certainly start at the 5, 6, 7 ages and present that option to them, that it's okay to be hands-free, and let them make,
No, are you targeting different things like distracted driving, alcohol, drug, like 3 different kind of ads, or?
No, this will only be, basically stay off your phone while
Yeah,
you're driving.
I think that's the main thing. That causes the most accidents. The phone.
Whatever the form of distraction is basically what we're trying to prevent. And to inform them and educate them that it's a safety precaution that we're trying to teach them, that this practice is not conducive to being safe. So if we give them that opportunity to be able to see something like this, the message will be clearer to them, that they will allow either their children to remind them while they're passengers in the car, for example, or maybe even as they're sitting down and having some quality family time, that's an opportunity for them as well to inform one another that this is a practice that we want to start within their
I
family.
think if you hit the children's program, because I know when I was teaching young children, I told them about, recycling, like if you're at a fiesta and you're almost throwing a bear can around, say something, and I think you can do the same thing about driving and mom's talking on the phone, say, hey mom, you're here.
It definitely has to be age appropriate, and that we will target those demographics specifically for those types of issues that we see that may be what's causing a lot more traffic fatalities and whatever the case may be right now with regards to our situation. So I really agree with this. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay. We're kind of running up against the clock. So we've already talked about the frame synchronizer, right?
Yes.
And the emergency alert and the DOI grant. So the only thing left under new business is this thing about Jake Shimabukuro in 23. And I threw this out because I have these crazy ideas. We weren't able to do the PBS gala this year. We had such a great success. Our first gala in, when was that, 2019, I guess? And then we couldn't do it for the last, we just couldn't do it. So it was like, it was almost going to be this great thing starting to roll, and then we got hung up on COVID. So I had this idea that, number one, this station has, PBS has a clout that is unmatched, period. And we are part of that. So we have weight when it comes to looking at things that the station could do for the community. One of the sayings that long ago I heard it, and it still pops up frequently, is a man's reach should exceed his grasp. Meaning you got to keep reaching for stuff that you can't reach yet, but in hopes that you can finally get to it. So this is something that the station could actually do. We could be one of the entertainment linchpins in the island, because we have the name where we could reach out to artists and they would take us seriously. And we have a way to do it where we could minimize, if we needed to, large gatherings by simply broadcasting an artist and making it available widely to the entire community without having to bring them all to a central location, reducing the cost for everyone to see the entertainment. So it occurred to me that we could do this. So if we're going to do it, you notice I said in 23, because we would have to do like a 1920 or 2022 lead up to it. We'd have to do like a dry run with somebody not of that stature, but somebody who we could get, or maybe somebody, just local acts. And say we want to do a gala 2022 broadcast where we have the best artists of Guam, and we do a 90-minute concert, and our top supporters are in the studio with them, and we broadcast the show to the rest of the island so everybody gets to see. And then if we get good at it and we actually can pull it off, and we get an artist like Jake to come here and do that, wow, what a feather in your cap for for pulling that off. The entire community benefits. Your stock goes up, the station's stock goes up. People take PBS very seriously. It leads to viewership, it leads to supporters, membership. So that's why I threw it up there. I would just like to leave it with you guys that if you think it's going to be something that...
Mr. Chairman,
yes, ma'am.
Who is Jake Shimabuku?
That's what he's getting to.
He's a ukulele player from Hawaii. He's a virtuoso. He's very talented. I would encourage you to go to YouTube, type in his name, and just sit there for an hour because you will be transfixed by this gentleman. So he's a world-class artist, and if we could bring him back to Guam, he hangs out in Hawaii, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
And you're suggesting to bring him back in 2023 or
Yep.
why not sooner?
Well, he's booked for 2 years in advance. He's one of these artists that you can't just call him up and expect him to show up. But if we look at it from 2 years away and we take a run at it and we make some contacts where we need to, in my mind it's doable. So.
But the people in Guam knew, I don't know who you're like half Hawaiian, so when you know all this Hawaiian stuff that,
Yeah, people know.
They do?
You ask your grandkids, they'll tell you.
Judy, do?
If it's the same one, I've seen it in
Joey's into music too, so, but I think that's my husband, who's a
Everybody
musician.
likes good music. So
No, but I'm just saying, he's saying this is a big name guy and people will be really impressed and all that. I'm just saying, he's obviously a big guy, lots of places, including Hawaii, but how many people in Guam would it attract? That's all I'm asking.
Well, like I said, we're not trying to attract people.
Yeah.
We're bringing him here and we're sending him out. It's our gift, essentially,
Okay.
to the community. That's how we have to look at it. But, we'll certainly, we'll try to make it a whole thing where we bring in our supporters to the studio. Say people from Hawaiian Rock or people from AK or
Yeah.
whoever are our top supporters. Have them come in the studio, do a live concert. I don't know what the deal is on who owns the rights to the program, but it sure be nice to have that in our archives, if it's possible. Anyway, that's why I put on the agenda. I wanted to toss it out and see if people would think it was a viable idea, and if so, then I'd like Ina for you to guys take a look at it, and if you don't think it's doable, if you think that the idea of having a live concert once a year broadcast is not doable, please say so.
I think that, we have to take a look and see what his talent fees are. And then, if there are...
Well, let's not get stuck on Jake.
Yeah.
Let's just say
with any
Performer
artist,
X.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
So I would like to it might have to be included into our gala. We can feature them in the gala, right? And maybe that might be cause for people to, buy more tickets or whatever. But yeah, I think the first steps are to see what the talent fees are and if it's affordable for us to, bring the artists in for the gala. And then also, if, once, restrictions are lifted and we're able, then we can gauge, with ticket sales and stuff like that, if it's going to be profitable or not. But I don't think his talent fees are too high. So we just have to see, if we're back to normal and we're able to have these, and then it would be great to have a one-off or a very, exclusive show for our hired supporters and then, present him at the gala.
Or a combination there,
Yeah. We have to just make a whole event out of it. So I think for me, I'm open to it. It's just, for me, it's a matter of the numbers and what the costs are, and if it's something that we can, gain from, right, the investment, then I'm all for it.
Okay, so let's look at it from, say, what are we going to do in 22 to do it at a you know, at a local level, or perhaps with an artist that's, you know, not as of that stature.
I think once, after Monday, our development staff will be fully staffed, so we'll be able to create a plan on, because I know, I personally want to have, I mean, we were really trying to push to have the gala in October, even if it was a lot smaller, but, you know, we were thinking maybe in February, but I'm thinking maybe a little bit later. So, we're really pushing to have a gala next year in 22. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see about timing and how, you know, the community is with COVID and if it's viable. And if it is, then for sure we want to kind of try to be like one of the next galas if the big ones start to come out, roll out.
Yes. I think
Just
that,
timing.
I mean, I don't know how well the chairman knows Mr. Yekshimura, but maybe he can be approached and say, you know, this is for PBS, this is a fundraiser, we really contribute a lot to the community, so maybe we can offer to pay for his fees and accommodations, but he can basically contribute his honoraries.
Well, I would say that Jake's a nice guy, and he was very gracious when he came here last time.
Also, he's been here before.
Yeah.
He's already familiar.
On the other hand, but having said that, you know, I think we should be prepared to pay him what he's worth, essentially, and not look at this as a moneymaker, but more like a loss leader, where we're just trying to return to the community what they've given to us. So, anyway, it's 2 years away, a year at the earliest, to do something of that nature. So, you know, I just wanted to throw it out and give the station enough time to have a chance to think about it, and you know, maybe it'll happen. Okay, and that's that. Nothing else under new business. Any other announcements or discussions? Next meeting will be December. Rosemary said Tuesdays are very problematic for her, so any day but Tuesday. 23rd is 2 days before Christmas.
Thursday the 16th?
16th is only 2 weeks away. Well, no, it's 3 weeks away.
Well, the next Thursday is the 23rd. That's like Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So I would say maybe the 30th.
Oh,
New Year's Eve?
No, December. December 30th, Thursday.
Which day?
December 30th, Thursday.
December 30th is New Year's Eve?
New Year's
No,
Eve.
the 31st.
The 31st.
31st.
Yeah, but Christmas is very busy for me. Can we, what day is
What
it?
about Wednesday?
29?
29th?
Don't we have to meet virtually?
We do have to, unless we can do public notice and just try to meet in 10 days. And that can be our December meeting. It's just,
The
it's,
9th or 10th?
Is the 23rd not available for everybody?
well, if we have to meet on the 10th again, then we'll come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, what was wrong with the
So we're
23rd? Oh,
meeting-
it's 2 days before Christmas?
So we're meeting on November.
What about the 22nd?
She's
we're
trying to
meeting
get
on
all
the
of the,
10th to
My-
finish
yeah,
this.
Yeah.
trying to get.
So unless you want to adjourn today and then we schedule our next meeting for the 10 days from now, that will be our December meeting and we can take care of the procurement.
Okay, so we were going to pause the meeting and then restart it because of this one issue.
Correct.
Now what's being suggested is that we actually adjourn the meeting and then have an earlier meeting in December at the time when these figures are available, and that will let us meet the requirement to meet. It will be a little earlier in the month, and then, you know, you have the rest of December to take care of whatever
So
needs
will
to
the
be taken care
10th
of.
meeting, be counted as our December?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's the
Yes.
same.
Okay.
The 10th or the 9th? The 10th.
Well,
The
really,
9th
the
or
goal
the
here is to try to get this taken care of because the.
Kill two
the,
birds with
the
one
grant-
stone,
yeah.
The grant
Right,
expires.
right.
And I can announce it already.
Understood. And then announcing for the meeting to the public as well.
Yeah.
So, and if on the 10th, we can, we can all convene and we're gonna do that online anyway, right? We're not having to physically be here.
No, the 10th is a Friday. Is a
No,
Friday
we'll make
okay?
it, we'll
We
get
can
that.
make it
in
Okay.
person, so that it's a meeting.
Can we make it on the 9th? It's a Thursday.
Thursday.
The 9th.
What's wrong with the 10th?
Because Fridays are.
We'll see that because the closing of the bid, I think it is the end of the month.
Yeah, 30th. 31st.
Yeah.
But we still need to give you all enough time for you to do the rest of the processing. So the second week of December works for me personally, whether it be Thursday or Friday. I'm open for
Okay.
both days. That is a final day for me closing out at the university end of semester. So I wouldn't want to do that and commit to the 10th. I'd rather be on the Thursday. We're coming out of a holiday on the 8th, but Thursday would be okay for me if it's convenient for everybody.
Is that the last day of the semester?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, so you have a long break.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So we're looking at the 9th of December.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that, wait, hang on.
good for me. So
We're gonna make sure the figures are gonna be ready.
Yeah.
It's enough to.
It's enough to-
closing. Because when the bid comes, we have to put it right away. So we'll be.
That'll be enough time.
You'll have the
The 9th is
information,
enough time, yeah.
all the information that we need to consider you'll have by then, by the
Because
9th.
We'll open the bid and by the 10th, and the 9th, present it to board.
Okay, so the 9th works for everybody?
9 Thursday is.
Because we'd still have it announced.
Okay, so December 9 is Thursday at noon here at the station. Thank you very much. Anything else, Ina?
That's all.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
Great. Wow, that was exactly 1 hour. That's great.
Yeah.
Up against the clock. Thank you very much, everyone. Great job.
Great meeting.
Same for you.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So your dad was the librarian at